Balistreri. Welcome to my channel. I apologize for my voice. I've been sick. I'm kind of starting to be on the upside of it, but I'm still not 100%. Today I am doing a design with the Magical Mystery Bead Box for the month of November, and it was called Snowflakes and Stardust. I am not going to do an unboxing because there was an issue in shipping, and I didn't even have a shipping notification even up to 4 days ago, so I contacted Jesse James Beads. It was some kind of an error, and they FedExed it to me right away. So you have all seen these beads, seen the unboxing by now. If you are online with it, or if you get it, you already know what it is. But it had a really beautiful theme of stars and snowflakes, and the whole box was a mix of silver and gold and really frosty colors. So I'm not going to do as much of a tutorial today as I am to share a design with you, just because of my voice. So I've gotten a little bit of a head start here. I'm going to be using this beautiful chain that came in the box, and I'm going to be taking it apart. I'm also going to be using one of these star earrings that came in the box. I wanted to make sure what I wanted to do was going to work. So I did one of them already, and I'll show you what I did. I turned the earring post into a loop so that I can make a component out of this, and I'll show you what I did with that. I'm just going to take this stopper off. Ooh, that one's really on there. Okay, I'm just going to use my 6-step veil making plier, and I'm going to use the second to the largest one, and let me turn it the right way, and I am just going to very gently roll this up the way that we do when we make a simple loop. So I just want to make sure that I'm being gentle. I don't want to break it off, and I'm just going to gently roll it back to the little earring, and just make sure it's closed really well, because I do need to attach things to it. So I'm only going to use one in my design, but for me, you could have just worn these earrings. You could also use the crystals that came in the box and wire wrap crystals around this star, but that is just not my style of an earring. So for me, I would rather have a hanging component. So that's what I did to achieve that. And I'm going to start here and just kind of work my way around. This is going to be a really unique but really simple design. It's going to consist of stringing and connecting, and that's it. So I'm going to start right here with a component that I made. So it looks like this. I'm going to do another one for the other section of the earring, but just to get started, I'm going to go ahead and open one side of this component and just add it to my little loop. And then I want to make another little component with this little bling ball. So I am going to think that will work. I'm going to grab my 2 1/4 millimeter 1-step looper, the little scrap of wire, and just thread this little ball. Let me find the middle. There we go. Just turn that little ball into a component. And I'm going to add it to the other component. And then I'm going to add this end to the chain. And this is going to be the final drop on my necklace, but I'm not finished with it. I'm going to embellish this further, but I want to go ahead and get the body of my chain done. So I have not tried yet to see if these links can be opened. I don't believe that they can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want I don't think that they can. It looks like it's solid, but let me give it a try. Yeah, it is a solid chain. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to cut this 6th link. Get my old cutters because I think this might be stainless steel. No, it's not stainless steel. I keep a junky, like older. They're not really, I mean, I guess they're junky, but they're older, and I keep those for tougher things to cut so that my nice flush cutters stay nice and sharp for finer work. So I have 5 links there, and I'm going to be doing more to this. And I have taken some gold and silver 11-0 seed beads from Jesse James Beads that I had left over from something. And I will need some more of these. We got these beautiful crystals in the box. I need some more of those. And I am using my antique brass 49 strand Snowflakes metallics. And I have just created a little bead pattern, and I've done 2 of them. So I just at random threaded on 16 gold and silver seed beads in between these little bead stations with the crystals, and alternating these little spacers from the constellations mix that came in the box. So I have a really like a medium one here, and I have a longer one, and I'm going to create a shorter one, and that's going to get added in to my chain. So let me make a little space here and put some seed beads out, and I'll show you exactly what I did. I'm going to also, when I embellish my final drop on my necklace, I'm going to be adding in these little gunmetal, or they're like hematite, but they're kind of the color of gunmetal, and I made these little drops. So that's going to go at the bottom of my drop. So I am using little gunmetal number 2 crimp tubes and my magical crimping plier to make these little strung sections. So I'm just making a loop and feeding it back down through the crimp tube. And it's, since I know the pattern, it's my same pattern all the way through, I can go ahead and crimp one side and just string from the other end. These, I have gotten a batch of gunmetal crimp tubes that are just tough. They are number 2 crimp tubes, but they are just tough to get the wire through. I've struggled with every single one that I've done. They go, but it's just not cooperating. So I just want to make a little loop and crimp. I like the hematite added in because I kind of see it as a darkened silver, and it looks really good with the gold and silver and this kind of moody, moody celestial blue crystal. So my pattern was 3 crystals, and I'll show you both of these that are done. I just alternated gold and silver spacers in the pattern because I've alternated gold and silver through my whole design, and I have just done varied lengths of these add-in sections. So on this last one, I only want 3 of these bead stations. So I started with silver on this one. I started with gold on this one. I think I'll start with silver on this one. So 3 crystals, a silver star, and then 3 more crystals. And then I did 16 of the gold and silver seed bead mix, and I just strung them at random. I have those gold and silver seed beads all over my mat. Gather them up. I just picked up the gold and silver at random on each of these little sections. And I'm going to repeat that. This length here, I wanted to get 3 bead stations, so I'm just going to repeat that for this length and then crimp at this end. Okay, and so this is ready to add in. So let me just set these aside because I don't think I'm going to measure. I'm going to do this at random. So I'm going to come right here and add in this little section to my chain. Let me clean up a second. Makes it easier to see. I'm done with the stringing. So just in the spirit of continuing the gold and the silver alternation. So I'm going to come to my first connection. It's already looking so good. And then I'm going to connect my chain to the top of this. And now I'm just going to go to the mirror, pull this around my neck, and decide how I want to add in my other strung sections to the chain. It's going to be random for sure. I like odd numbers in design. It's just pleasing to the eye. So I have 5 links here and then this little section, and this is going to circle around the neck, and the lobster claw clasp that was on the chain will be able to clasp anywhere on the length of it, down here or up here. So with this design, you could make it as long or as short as you want. You could make it super long so that you can actually wrap around your neck 2 or 3 times, or you can make it so it only goes around once and it's like a Y necklace. And with adding in the strung sections to the chain with the gold jump rings, you could even, you know, clasp it to the jump rings. So I'm going to do that off camera because I need to look at the length and decide where my next cut is going to be. But I think I'm going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe start 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm going to do another one of these little gold and silver components for this end of the necklace. So I'm going to take a little piece of my 20 gauge wire and put a simple loop in one end. And then I'm going to just do a really cool stack with one of the silver bead caps from the box, then one of the gold bead caps. These little, I don't know if you can hear it, put it up to the microphone. These have little crystals inside, these silver balls. And you can thread your wire through pretty much anywhere you want, but I'm going straight up the middle. And then repeat that stack with a gold and then a silver bead cap, and then just put a simple loop in the other side. And that's going to get attached by this silver jump ring right to the end. Okay, I will definitely put some pictures up at the end. Don't worry about, I know it's difficult to see these long necklaces on the beading mat, but basically this part here can wrap around once. I think I did twice in the mirror and that looked really good, and this can come back and attach down here. It can attach pretty much anywhere. I just love the length. So I also have these little components made, and also these little components, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. In the box there was also this chain, and I am going to also take this one apart and do something different with it, just to add a little more embellishment to my star at the bottom of this necklace. So I'm going to take this jump ring, and it's going to hold a little section of chain that's going to attach to that loop. So I'm going to make this my longest one, I think. You can always go back and trim off a couple of links if you want to, if you don't like the way things are hanging. I'm just going to take that one there, and then I'll do a shorter length. Go ahead and feed it on the jump ring. I was just experimenting on this side with my little star dangles that I want to add in, and I actually did a little tiny 22 gauge, really tiny 4mm jump ring, just to make sure that my stars really sparkle. So since I was experimenting and had already attached that, I'll go ahead and bring this over and use it. I'm just going to add in one of these little hematite star drops that I created, and I have one that I didn't do, so I can show you what I did. So they're just going to go at the bottom of each of the 3 chains. So I just took a ball head pin, a really fine gauge one of the hematite stars, and then a silver seed bead from my stringing. So again, just keeping all those elements going. And I want a really small, simple loop, so I'm just going to give this like a 45-degree bend and put the tip of my round nose pliers at that bend, and just kind of looks like I'm making a wire wrapped loop, but I'm just gonna get a really nice simple loop in there. Just trim right where the loop ends. And then open it and add it to the bottom of the chain. Okay, and then I am going to just take these other little star components that I made exactly the same way and add them in at random to the length of these chain drops. Doing these with a little jump ring, a really tiny jump ring, just makes them dangle really beautifully from the chain instead of being stuck or, you know, kind of stiff hanging off the chain. Okay, that is so pretty. It is just so beautiful. And you know, if you're a fidgeter, it's just something to play with and a little bit of movement. For me, I like a necklace like this longer in the front, and I can see like all the interest and the detail. So I will put some pictures up at the end of the video and show a couple of the cool ways that this can be styled. I will also put links in the description box with my discount code to the Jesse James Beads Magical Mystery Bead Box. My code is also good for shopping the website. You can buy a one-off Magical Mystery Bead Box. If you just want one, you can shop, you know, their beautiful bead strands, boho beads. You can also get the price of the Magical Mystery Bead Box to be a lot lower if you subscribe to it for a longer period of time. So if you subscribe for a whole year in advance, the price of this beautiful box comes down significantly. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody's safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. Ciao, creative friends.